Janina, alam mo yung mantra na New Year, New Me? Parang parati na lang natin sinasabi yan, start of the year, January, pero by the time mag-February na, parang balik tayo sa dati.
Oy, hindi naman. Hanggang March naman ako.
Hanggang March naman.
Hindi, joke lang. Pero this year, may wais plan talaga ako na I'll stick to it till the end of the year.
That's basically what we'd like to do. No? Hindi lang tayo ningas kugo na nag-uumpisa lang ng January strong, pero unti-unting nagda-die down. So, we're done with 2024. So, brand new year, 2025. New year, new me. We're starting to not just craft, but also look at the progress of our New Year's resolutions. Hindi lang pagdating sa buhay Hindi lang pagdating sa career, hindi lang pagdating sa goals in life, but also pagdating sa finances. But what happens is, to be perfectly honest, yung January, nagiging trial period lang natin. By the time mag-February, by the time mag-March na, we're slowly going back to our old selves. And ayaw nating mangyari yun. Ayaw nating maging ningas kugon. Ayaw nating magaling lang sa umpisa. So, what we're going to talk about in this episode is basically how do you start the new year right? And how do you end it with a bang? Hindi pwedeng umpisa lang ng umpisa. Ano yung gagawin natin sa kalagitnaan? Ano yung gagawin natin kapag medyo nahihirapan na tayo? At anong gagawin natin for us to be able to pull through over the next 12 months? Welcome to Wais by Choice. My name is Andoy Beltran. I'm your host. And if you're new to this podcast, this is where we talk about anything and everything money, anything and everything finance, and how to wisely manage it. In this third episode of Wais by Choice, kasama natin one of our favorite Gen Z influencers in the country. She's known for her beauty and lifestyle content. And now using her platform to advocate for various causes. And I'm super excited to introduce her to you. Ladies and gentlemen, our wise guest, Janina Vela.
Yay! Hey, mga kawais. Janina Vela here. I'm so excited to be here. I hope I can share some, helpful tips or advice, especially in terms of finances. But we'll see what Andoy can get out of me today.
But again, Janina, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time to guest dito sa Wise by Choice. But from beauty, lifestyle, and then health, we're now going to talk a lot about wealth. So from health to wealth. Yeah. But backstage, pinag-uusapan natin kanina, parang, Andoy, bakit ako? Hindi ako expert, no? But that's exactly...
Wag mo naman ako i-expose.
Exactly, but that's exactly the reason why we're here. Parang, again, nakakatuwa nga that even your mom responded na, exactly, Janina, that's exactly the reason why you're here. Because we want our mga kawais, we want our followers, we want our subscribers to understand na you don't have to be a finance expert, you don't need to be an investment professional to be wise when it comes to saving, when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to investing. And you're using your platform to influence people when it comes to, again, beauty, health, wellness. We're now using Wise by Choice to, allow your followers, allow your fans, allow your subscribers to look at you at a different light. Because again, new year, new me. No? Makikita nila dito, papakita natin sa kanila how you manage your money, how you look at things, how you look at investments, and how you look at things beyond today. We're going to talk to Janina about our new finance goals this 2025 na pwedeng maging guide nyo when it comes to your New Year's resolutions. Now, Janina, we all know na pagdating sa finances, parang tabu siya. Hindi masyadong pinag-uusapan, hindi masyadong open ang mga Pilipino na pag-usapan siya. But kudos to you and the other Gen Z influencers out there na parang nabibreak yung stigma, nabibreak yung cycle na yun because you're talking about finance, you're talking about wellness openly out there. So, what's your take on this? What's your take when it comes to your role in educating not just people from your generation, but also the older millennials? No?
Well, I think it's great that we are, I guess, breaking that stigma, right? I think money was such a hush-hush topic. And I guess sometimes, I don't know if it's nakakahiya to bring it up or it's like, I don't know, it feels weird. But I think in 2025, one of the things that I really, I've been telling myself to do is to ask more questions. I have my strengths, but I also have my weaknesses. And sometimes, as humans, we want to hide our weaknesses, and that's very human and very normal. But this year, I really want to accept that, okay, this is not my strength, but I know people who this is their strength. So being able to approach people who know better than me and acknowledging that they do know better, in order to make my life better, I want to learn from others and take that, I guess, the humble road, right?
Yeah.
And ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very great angle of attack, no? Because a lot of times people tend to, again, shy away from their
Yeah.
weaknesses, hide their weaknesses. But what's important there is, number one, you identify and you understand that, eto yung weakness ko. Pero in order for me to turn this into a strength, I need to learn from people. I need to learn from experts, and that's actually what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're not saying that we're the buy all. We're not saying that we're the Bible when it comes to anything and everything finance. But this conversation will hopefully help other people, influence other people to again start 2025 right now. That's pretty much a very great take when it comes to financial management. When you talk about asking, when you talk about throwing questions, you talk about bringing people na experts.
Well, actually, if I can just add something, I
Of course.
think besides asking other people, the trusted adults around you for help, adults talaga.
Adults.
I know I'm technically an adult also, but more adult people. I think there's like a wealth of resources that we have now. For example, this podcast that we're on, but if you search on Google, you search online again, you look for an influencer, you can even like go AI and ask for a budget planner or something, there is that option. So I feel like I want people to feel empowered after listening to this podcast that me, a girly girl who is not very great at math. If you saw my grades, they wouldn't be the best. But, this year, share ko lang. I bought my own condo finally, and I'm gonna be moving out, which is scary. And honestly, I need your advice rin.
Sure.
Financial budgeting. Ako
Fire
din
away. Let's do that.
magpapa-advise sa kanya. But I guess it's really gonna be a journey, and I think besides being empowered to, explore all of the resources, I think accepting that this is a journey. We learn, we lose, we make mistakes, we learn from our mistakes, and again, it's a very human experience. It doesn't have to be so serious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Super great take on finance, Janina. No? Kasi again, from the mere fact that you told me, Andoy, in order for you to learn, hindi naman pwedeng puro aral-aral, research. A lot of times, it is something na hindi lahat ginagawa, no? Ask people.
Yeah.
Diba? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to let other people know that these are the things I want to learn. Not necessarily because these are the things I don't know, but these are things that I want to be better at. Diba? That being said, Janina, you talked about hits, you talked about misses. I want you to reflect, no? I want our mga kawais to learn from you. Back 2024, 2023, previous years, if you can just share, since again, you talked about hits and misses, ano yung mga hits and misses, mga wins and losses mo when it comes to, again, the world of money management?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I sporadically do that I want to do more consistently this year is definitely to record my spending. So I was able to find a random app. I just downloaded it. I've been using it sporadically for the last 3 years. But I have noticed that I spend more when I don't type the number down on my phone. So I think without that internal accountability, that oh gosh, this is what I spent today. This is
Yeah.
what I spent this month.
Yeah.
Then my spending kind of you rack up the numbers a little bit easier.
course.
So this year, I really want to be able to record, be able to see, okay, where is my money actually going?
Exactly.
So that's like a hit and a miss because again, sporadic.
Sporadic. Yeah.
But what else was a miss? I think it would be taking too long to I guess to do my research.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because I just graduated. And
Congratulations, by
oh,
the way.
thank you. I just graduated, and suddenly I'm thrust into this big world where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to live independently.
Yeah.
I'm not in school anymore. And then there was that shucks. I gotta get everything together. I gotta get my finances together. Thankfully, naman I had parents who were very supportive since I was a kid, so I wasn't starting from scratch. But in terms of the independence and the responsibility, there is a learning curve,
So
right?
2025, safe to say, Janina, 2025 is not just going to be a new year for you. It's actually a new life ahead
Yeah,
of you, diba?
it
Parang,
is.
diba? When it comes to your future, when it comes to post grad life, sabi mo nga kanina, how you're going to start living independently.
Yeah.
But again, going back to your sporadic budgeting, that pretty much highlights the importance of having a budget.
Yeah.
Diba? And that's also the reason why over the past several episodes, we highlighted the importance of having a budget. Kasi yun yung magpepeg sa atin ng disiplina. Yun yung
Yeah.
magpepeg sa atin ng patience. Oh, can I afford this? Can I splurge? Especially ngayon, kakagaling lang natin sa holiday season na talagang season of giving. No? So with that, what we'd like to understand here is, Janina, we can actually help others na kung sa palagay nila they're lost, they don't know what to do, they don't have any idea, makakatulong tayo when it comes to giving them that first very important first step. So again, when you talk about that sporadic budgeting app, diba? Can you share with them? Kasi mamaya pwede nating pag-usapan to lengthily. Ano yung mga do's and don'ts mo
Yeah.
naman when it comes to spending?
Yeah, well, definitely budgeting is there. I
Of
think
course.
I remember when I was a kid, my parents gave me an envelope filled with envelopes.
Envelope filled with
Yeah,
Okay.
like a big envelope, and there were little envelopes.
Okay.
That for our Christmas money, syempre, nagsayawan kami sa reunion. I sang. We have yung mga 20 peso bills from all of the games that we played nung
Absolutely.
Pasko when I was a kid. And, they wanted us to have percentages. So, if
Okay.
it would be, well, at that point, obviously, wala naman kaming utilities, diba? But, for example, now, I think a famous percentage cut would be like 50, 30, 20.
Yeah.
Would be 50 for the necessities, right?
Needs,
And
correct.
what was it? I think 30 for wants if you want, and then 20 for savings.
Yeah.
And just play around with that budget. I think that's a really great do. Thankfully naman, since I lived with my parents, I've been living with my parents, my wants, my necessities cut has been going to savings,
Correct.
right?
You talked about it has to start with you. Janina, being a lifestyle influencer, to be perfectly honest, I'm having a difficult time imagining how you can be financially disciplined
Yeah.
when you are out there trying to influence, trying to tell people, oh, this how you do it,
Yeah.
this how you
Yeah.
how you again live the life, no. How do you strike that balance?
Yeah.
I'm super personally, I'm interested. How do you actually strike that balance? How to be financially disciplined and at the same time continue becoming one of the most followed influencers
Yes.
in the world of lifestyle.
So I started when I was 15. And so getting brand deals and jobs at 15, 16, 17 was a crazy experience. But something I learned very, very early in life actually was that just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah, exactly. So even if, I will say my bank account grew, the numbers grew, I can take pride and say I didn't adjust my lifestyle to how much my bank account grew.
Okay.
I tried as much as possible because I could, to live below my means. And my spending, I can say, did not change from when I first started earning to now. It's the same or maybe even less.
Good.
Because, again, just because I could doesn't mean I should. And
That's
I
right.
really wanted to practice, in a way, underconsumption. I think that's become a trend now. Have you heard, have you seen the
That's right.
underconsumption trends? Where 2025 is about hitting pan on the makeup. It's about emptying the bottles. So if
Correct.
you look into my banyo now, yung soap bars ko, nakaganyan-ganyan na lang siya
Some
into
people
a...
call it minimalism.
Yeah, minimalism.
That's
I'm
right.
not minimalist enough for that though. I have too much stuff pa din. But something I'm really trying is to not buy if you don't need it. Yeah, that's like very easy thing to start with.
Very good thing you brought that up kasi gusto ko namang makuha yung take mo on this very, very popular phrase, deserve ko to.
Yeah.
What can you say about deserve ko to?
Yeah. Woo. Okay, well, gosh, that's a touchy topic. Because I'm not somebody to tell you what you deserve or what you don't deserve, right?
That's correct.
But you have to ask yourself when you say deserve ko to, what are the circumstances in which you ask that question?
That's right.
Because you'll notice that when you say deserve ko to, it's in the lower points of your life, you're a little sadder,
That's right.
you're a little more angry, a little heartbroken. And I think those times are your most vulnerable.
That's right.
Emotionally, romantically,
yeah.
financially as well.
That's right.
Because, you tend to make emotional impulse
Decisions.
buys. Yeah, I mean, emotional decisions as it is, and emotional impulse buys. And those are the ones that you typically regret. Like, I mean, when you think about it, like, we'll talk real life.
Yeah.
You,
Go ahead.
when you're emotional, you'll end up texting your ex, and when you wake up the next day, you're like, ba't ko siya tinext? Ano ba yan? Nakakahiya naman. I wish I never did that. I
That's
regret
right.
it. That's the same thing that happens when you impulse buy because of emotions.
Yeah.
So, understanding at what point you ask that question. For me, I like to wait at least a week before I
You give
buy
in.
something. Yeah, or that's conservative for me. I like to wait long periods of time, months. If it's a big purchase,
That's right.
I will really research. I'll wait. I think the bag that I just have right now, I waited 3 years to get it. So that's how I knew, okay, gusto ko talaga to. This is not just a micro trend that I'm trying to follow, or this is not just an impulsive thing that I want today,
right.
but it's something that I really want.
You know,
Yeah.
Janina, the reason why I ask is because we want our kawais to learn from not just our wins but also from our losses.
Yeah.
Not just from our hits but also from our misses. Kasi we have this thing called budgeting para magkaroon ka ng disiplina when it comes to, again, money. Alam mo, meron kang, again, 50, 30, 20. Alam na natin yun. Kaya nating mag-research about that. But what's important here is, again, I love the fact that you talked about, I'm not the one to tell you ano ba yung deserve mo because that's your life. That's your preference. I don't know what makes you happy. But what's very important here is regardless what makes you happy, regardless what makes you say, deserve ko to. Ang importante dito is, again, may goal setting. And this is what where we'd like to start 2025 with. Set your goals. May bala kang bumili. Sabi mo nga, your bag, 3 years in the making. Your condo, X number of years in the making. Meron kang gustong mga bilhin, may mga gusto kang ma-accomplish. Pero it's not something that you should plan weeks before. That's something that you should plan for 2028. You start planning 2025.
Yeah.
Diba? So you set your goals, invest a portion of your income. Hindi pwedeng you just live for the day. You need to plan for the future. You need to make sure na by the time ma-turn over na yung condo, by the time you start living independently, meron ka ng pambayad ng association dues, meron ka ng pang-grocery.
Gosh, ang mahal pala ng asok dues.
Exactly. Because a lot of times, people shy away from home ownership simply because of those things.
Yeah.
Mga phantom costs, na akala nila matatapos na yung responsibility ko by the time I acquired the property.
Yeah,
Pero
no.
again, it's just a start, no?
Yeah, but actually, can I add? I think,
course.
When we mention all of these things, it might be daunting to somebody who's listening, like, okay, gosh, I have to save, I have
That's
to figure out how to invest. But something I saw on TikTok was that people have clear books where they put, like, for example, 50 pesos a day inside, or 100 pesos a day inside. And I think that's a great way to start. I think if, you're sometimes kasi we can get super overwhelmed with all of the options that we have to
That's right.
save, to invest, na minsan napaparalyze tayo. We end up
Analysis
not,
paralysis.
yeah, not being able to do anything.
At
But
all. Yeah.
I think, like, one of the ways that I live by is thinking, okay, what's my next best choice? Like, what's the next best thing that I can do? Maybe right now I can't do the big investments, and I can't, I it's not in my time to whatever, start this and start that. Then start small.
That's
Even
right.
if it's like for example, I saw somebody do every 20 peso coin that they find, just put it in
there.
put it in a piggy bank, put it in a can. And by the end of the year, you'll be really surprised at how much you save. And making that a habit even now is planting seeds for the future, because kung masanay ka doing 20 peso coins, masasanay ka doing 50 and 100, and
Start small.
starting small
Yeah.
is I always say, like, micro decisions, micro choices really can create macro outputs.
That's
and
right.
results.
That's right. Again, we talked about discipline. We talked about setting your goals. We talked about investing a portion of your income for tomorrow. We talked about having a budget, no, to track your spending, na pinag-usapan natin kanina. Kahit sporadically, at least may attempt for us to
something.
do that. No? And what's also important there is you also take advantage of opportunities. Kasi a lot of times, people tend to shy away from, people talk, may bad rap yung 1-1, 2-2, 3-3 simply because akala nila budol yon. But what I keep on telling people, what I'd like our kawais to understand is sometimes it's actually worth taking advantage of. Yung mga deals, yung mga promos, yung mga discounts, for you to be able to buy more, get more for less.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. And people always get so gulat. People always get so gulat. Nagugulat yung mga tao pag nalalaman nila. If I'm online shopping, I have consciously given myself a boundary that I can only buy online if it's on sale,
Ooh.
if there's a discount.
Ooh.
If it's online, I don't buy full price.
Same here. Same
Yeah,
here.
exactly. And
Same
I'll leave it in my cart for a bit. And then when they'll remind me, hey,
Yeah.
this is still in your cart, we can give you an X discount. I'm like, okay,
Correct.
may discount na.
Correct.
And like, you made a sale.
I don't buy full price either.
Yeah.
So it's actually one of my goals then this year. Kasi I'm not just spending, I'm not just budgeting for myself. I'm also spending and budgeting for two makulit kids,
yeah.
the wife. No? So it's very important then you take advantage of those deals. No? Now, Janina, if you apply those Wais tips na napag-usapan natin, again, budgeting, investing a portion of your income, having goals, and taking advantage of deals, no, we can figure out yung state natin ngayon. When I talk about our state today, sabi nga natin we're a work in progress. Parang hindi mo ma-achieve yung perfect Janina, hindi mo ma-achieve yung perfect
Yeah.
Andoy, because again it's a work in progress, and because our situation, it tends to change. What I'd like to get from you is ano yung state mo ngayon, and ano yung maybe a year from now, 3 years from now. Again, because napag-usapan natin kanina, 2025 is going to be a milestone year for you, no? So ano yung state mo ngayon, and by the time pag-usapan ulit natin to come January 2026, ano na yung gusto mong pag-usapan natin by then?
State of calamity. The joke. No. Ano yung state ko? Honestly, I think proudly say that I'm financially healthy. I was able to really take advantage of the people around. No, that sounds terrible. I didn't take advantage of the people around me. I took advantage of, again, the wealth of knowledge of the people around me. Like my momager, who was able to explain to me all of these investments, and we had relationships with our bank, who were also able to, like, offer us things and give us advice on
course.
which, and we were able to find stockbrokers also who could give us advice on that as well. So I'm able to keep my money moving, thankfully, over the last 10 years. I'm gonna be Did I miss my anniversary? I think I'm 10 years old na pala online, on content creation. But yeah, over the last 10 years, my money has been moving in good ways. So much so that I was able to buy my own condo. So I must be doing something right. I hope.
You are. You are. You
I
are.
hope I am. But honestly, my goal, well, one of the reasons why I decided to move out and really, because last year was a lot of preparation for me. It was again figuring out how am I going to be, how am I gonna, adult
That's
before I get thrust again into the wild. Before I moved out this year, I was already preparing last year.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that this is my culmination.
Yeah.
It means I moved out now while I'm single because I'm preparing to get married.
Of course.
So hopefully I'll have a wedding fund in the next few years that you ask me, and I'll be able to find a place with my husband. And that's already something that I'm thinking about even now. Again, 2028. Think about it in 2025.
Of course.
So 2024, I was thinking of 2025. 2025, I'm thinking of 2028,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So for me, it's a lot of preparing for what's coming next, and that's really, I guess, the point for me about finances and budgeting
Yeah.
and being aware. I think I saw a quote where it said something like, budgeting is not about constraint, but it's about freedom. And tama.
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 Janina, nakakatawa that you were able to touch base about on budgeting. Kasi you even shared with us your one of your favorite budgeting quotes, no? Kasi in the real world, budgeting should really provide you with freedom. It shouldn't be restrictive.
Yeah.
A lot of times people tend to look at budgeting as very restrictive. Andoy, that 30 50 20 budgeting strategy of yours, why do I need to limit it to 30? Why do I need to spend just 50%? Ako naman yung naghirap para dyan, ako yung nag-overtime para dyan.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the reason why, because it
Yeah.
should provide you with some sort of guidance. It should provide you with some sort of boundaries. Now, talk about boundaries, Janina. You talk about New Year's resolutions. Again, this is going to be a milestone year for you, not just a new year, but a new life. How do you actually set boundaries when we talk about, health, talk about
Yeah.
wellness, content creation, even finance?
Yeah, well, rule of thumb is that I don't have to say yes to everything.
Ooh. Very
Which-
powerful. It's very powerful.
It's so powerful. I mean, if you want to add power to it, I'll go ahead and say it's okay to say no. Because, people pleaser. I really came from, yes, okay, I'll do it, no problem, I'll be there, and then burnout,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then ubos, and then exhausted.
Yeah.
Which, at the end of the day, leaves you not being able to do anything instead of wanting to do everything.
Correct.
Nothing. So I think for me, boundaries started with choosing. It's not really boundaries. I guess it's the same as budgeting and constraint and freedom. It's boundaries wasn't about I have to say no to this, no to that, no to this. It's more of choosing what's important and analyzing really what should I prioritize for myself in this season, and sticking to it, and
Yeah.
obviously committing to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. How about you? Like boundaries when you think of financial or health?
I totally get your point kasi when you talk about understanding what it entails. No?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not just talking about finance. I'm not just talking about your busy schedule. When you understand what it entails, you tend to naturally gravitate towards what's important. No? And I'm speaking as an employee, as a public speaker, as an economist, stockbroker, as a father, as a husband, as a son. Doon mo makikita yung priorities in life. But what I'd like to hone in on is if you're financially secure, if you're financially free, and if you're financially literate, it makes decision making a breeze.
Yeah.
It
So
makes
much simpler.
decision making super simple kasi
Yeah.
again, alam mo yung priority mo. Which leads me to my next question. Again, there's one of the most important things no na gusto nating pag-usapan is because you are into beauty,
Yeah.
lifestyle, health, diba? Let's talk about I want to hear your thoughts about the importance of being financially secure in order for you to get to that level, in order for you to, start thinking about your health,
Yeah.
in order for you to start thinking about other people, in order for you to start sharing your story, sharing your insights to other people.
Yeah.
How important is it?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, we see a lot. You see it in movies, you see it in real life, where people are so focused on earning money and chasing the money that you neglect your health.
That's right.
You're like, okay, I'll save the money for a rainy day, but saving your money for a rainy day does not make sense if you're the one causing the storms in your
That's right.
body,
That's right.
right? You won't have a future
That's right.
to spend your money on
That's right.
if you're not taking care of yourself.
That's right.
So I feel like it's not a chicken or an egg type of thing. It's not outward love versus self-love type of thing. I think these are supposed to go hand in hand, where as I am working on my career, I'm also working on myself.
That's right.
Right? Where I remember when I was I had an internship. I had an internship and I had school at the same time, and then I was doing content creation last year. But I needed to get at least a 30-minute run in the morning because that's what helped kept me going, right? That's what helped gave me the energy that I needed to complete all of my tasks that day.
I'm guilty. I can perfectly relate to what you just said because I had two pandemic babies. So
Oh gosh, yeah.
during the lockdown, when we were all, trapped, working from home, I was super engrossed with, just experiencing life as a father. So that pretty much highlights the importance of what we do. The importance of you as an influencer, telling people what to do, what not to do, sharing them wins, losses, hits, misses. No? Which brings me to my next question. How do you prepare for, let's say 2025 you shared with us earlier, you're about to move in to your new condo. You're about to start living independently. Ngayon, Janina Vela, how do you prepare for that transition? Because again, you shared kanina 2024 okay lang kasi I'm still with my parents. I get to do this. I don't get to pay for these stuff. But 2025 etong January, February,
Yeah.
itong transition period natin, how do you actually handle it? How do you prepare for that?
Yeah. A lot of it was finding places to take responsibility in.
Okay.
I think, when you live a comfortable life in the house of your parents, and I have a very good relationship with my parents also, so it's not like I need to get
I've
out
been
of here.
super
like,
excited. Yeah.
I love my parents,
Yeah.
but it was something that I had to. It was a decision It was a decision I had to make for my own personal growth.
That's right.
But that personal growth did not start or does not start when I move out. That started last year where, I asked, is it okay if I use my car more?
Sure.
And then that's when I started paying for my gas solely. I started, even just car wash, having it platoon up.
right.
I carried that load slowly. So I started with small areas of responsibility that I could really, build my excellence in. So it started there, and then obviously taking care of the condo. Since it's mine, I'm already paying for association dues,
That's
and
right.
so learning how to file those papers properly in a way that I can, easy, because I'm messy. Oh my gosh, I'm a messy person. So even that, cleaning my room, waking up every day, making my bed every day, these things seem so small, but these are habits that I'm trying to build because, when you say financial security, that's my dream in life.
Okay.
Is financial security. It's not necessarily, there are people whose dream is to be rich. I want to be so filthy rich and great, good for you. That's not my dream. My dream is to be financially secure. And I say that because I understand that financial security is not about how much money you have, but it's about how you handle your money.
That's right.
And it's about the character traits, it's about the habits, it's about the decisions that I'm making now and till the end of time, where even if I have little,
Yep.
even if I have much, the financial security stays the same.
Yeah.
I remember, so when I did musical theater, fun fact, and when I was 12, 13. I did a professional show. And with that money that I earned, I opened an online business
Okay.
online. So I was 14 years old. I went to the palengke, would buy in wholesale, sell it on Instagram, and then from that I started other little tiny businesses.
Businesses. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was not rich at 14 years old, nor was I super financial secure because I was a kid, but building those traits early on in tiny ways.
Yeah.
I think even if it's not directly connected to me being able to buy my condo, I can truly say that it is indirectly connected to the person I am today, who was able to buy and is able to maintain a place by myself.
You just reminded me of basically what I was doing when I was in college. Kasi um, I was fortunate enough to have earned an athletic and an academic scholarship when I was in high school and back in college. So what I did, I was raised by a single mom. So what I
Wow.
did, I asked my mom, instead of you paying for my tuition fee, why don't I get a certain percentage of that supposed fund, no? And run a business. I super love cars. I love cars. So back in college, I got into drag racing. I
Wow.
started importing stuff from
In
Japan.
college? That's so
That's
crazy.
third year, fourth year
Yeah.
college. I was selling stuff from the trunk of my car
Wow.
outside the campus. I'm sharing this because as young as third year, fourth year college, I was already earning money, but I wasn't keeping money. So that was actually a miss. I was running a business, I was importing stuff, but if you're going to ask me, "Ando, isa napunta yung pera?" I don't know. And that may be the reason why I got into the field of financial literacy, investing, is because
May hugot pala.
may hugot yun. Again,
Yeah.
we talked heavily about hits and misses. We
Yeah.
talked heavily about wins and losses. It's actually one of my first win and my first loss at the same
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
Because again, I was making friends. I was supplying stuff to car accessory shops. But again, if you're going to check my wallet, I'm not saving a thing. So that just goes to show the importance of, again, being financially aware. You may be making money, but if you don't have the right discipline, if you don't understand where am I supposed to, put this, where am I supposed to put that, it's just going to, become a problem. It's going to, you're going to eventually regret it. Janina, wise by choice, we don't want to paint a picture na lahat ng gusto nating mangyari natutupad. We want to be very practical. Sabi nga natin kanina, di ba? It's conversational. Let's just
Yeah.
make kwento. With that, since we talked heavily about hits, misses, wins, losses, no? Na-share natin yung mga hindi nag-fly na business. Ako, yung hindi nag-fly na business, pero feeling ko okay naman siya. What I'd like to get from you next is, syempre may mga financial challenges tayo. No? Parang, siguro, when you were saving for your condo, when you were trying to budget para ma-maintain mo ng tama yung kotse, may pang fuel for the next trip. How do you overcome financial challenges, or ano yung mga strategies na ginagamit mo for you to overcome financial challenges?
Um, ang deep ng question,
deep, ang
ang
deep.
heavy. Well, actually, I wanted to. I just remembered a random story. Actually, that may not be super connected, but I just remembered a random story that I wanted to inject because when you were asking me about financial challenges, the one story that popped up in my head about money that makes me physically sad.
Go ahead.
I got scammed for concert tickets.
Concert tickets.
Yeah, because I sent money without having the tickets yet.
Oh, okay.
Terrible. So it was a reseller online that I thought was real. Oh my gosh, she was so good. She was like, "Oh my gosh, Ate Janina, I'm a fan. Don't worry." So crazy. she was amazing at what she did. I don't condone scamming. I'm just saying she was a good scammer. She got me real good. I don't even know if it's a girl. Anyway, biggest one was obviously that, or recently, but I will say number one is to double check who you're working with, who you're talking to, just because it looks legit.
That's right.
I know there are like even, telecom companies can message you now with the name on your text
That's right.
message. They can email. I've gotten so many scam emails that look so real.
That's what they call SMS hijacking. So it's no secret na even the concert scene, no, parang pinapasok
Oh my
na ng mga scammers. But if you don't
So
mind me
bad.
asking, Janina, how much yung na-scam
Oh
sa'yo?
my gosh. So she was so good. I'm so angry. So I asked for 2 tickets for me and my boyfriend.
Okay.
And then my best friend and her boyfriend also wanted to watch.
Okay.
So I asked if she had 4 tickets, and I worsened it pa
Uh-huh.
because she's like, "Oh, you can have 50% down payment for 2 of you. Oh, do you have 4 tickets? Yeah, you can do 50% for all
fall.
of them." So I ended up paying like 11 or 12,000, and I lost it all. And I was never able to get it back. I really spammed her, but nothing.
Yeah.
But honestly, you know what's so bad? You can cut it out if you don't
Sige.
want to. She changed, like, it was for a particular artist at the time, and she changed like her username and her name for another artist, and she's still going until today. And there's nothing I can do about it, and I can't stop her. Anyway, super sad. Financial challenges, how to get over it. Number one, don't cry over spilled milk. I think I cried. I did cry that morning that I was scammed. But it comes to a point where there's no point in crying
That's right.
anymore. Now I am uber passionate about cyber crimes,
Yeah.
because I learned the hard way. And I never want to make that mistake ever again.
Yeah.
So now I'm so careful with all of the links, all of the people that I deal with. I like double check, read the reviews, look at the actual pictures. I call them. I tell my friends, meet up na lang kayo.
Yeah.
Like, don't send the money. I'm paranoid in a good way.
Yeah.
So don't cry over spilled milk and learn from your mistakes. Wala na tayong magagawa. Matuto ka na lang.
That's right. That's
Ganon.
right. Learn from
How
our
about
mistakes.
you?
You know, it's actually good that you were able to share a thing or two about scams, no?
Yeah.
Kasi Janina, whether you are aware or not, that may also be the reason why a lot of Filipinos, Gen Z or millennial, or from other generations, no? But that may be the reason why a lot of Filipinos are skeptical when it comes to investing, especially at this day and age when it's super easy for you to open a stock brokerage account,
Yeah.
super easy for you to open a bank account, super easy for you to open a digital bank
Yeah.
account. Madali then for scammers to transact and get into your account, no? What can you say to our mga kawais when it comes to facing 2025, hopefully enduring 2025 and ending 2025 with a positive mindset when it comes to saving and perhaps transitioning to investing? Kasi again, your followers, no, they look up to you not just because of your content. They look up to you because of the way you handle yourself. Etong journey mo na to, parang I'm pretty sure hindi sila naiinggit. They look at you as an inspiration. They get motivated because look at Janina, because of what she's doing, because of what she's done, because of what she was able to accomplish. Brands are entrusting her. They're collaborating. They're dealing with her. And look at you now, no? So ngayon, ang gusto kong makuha from you and gusto kong ma-share mo sa mga kawais is how do you face 2025? Kasi long term to eh. We don't just look at it one day at a time, 1 month at a time. This is 12-month marathon. This is not a race, no? So how do you face your 2025 with a positive mindset? Kasi it's not going to be positive every single day. May mga bumps dyan along the way. So how do you do that? How do you keep that positive mindset for you to be able to help yourself get to that next level? And after your condo, after your next set of goals, what keeps you hungry?
Yeah. Um, this is the quote on my laptop desktop, where it says, "Trust the process of becoming." And it's a the of becoming is just an addition to trusting the process, but it's understanding that it takes time. When you start your journey of saving in January, you're not gonna have 1 million by Feb.
That's right.
I wish we could, but we that's not how the world works for most of us. So it's understanding that it takes time and learning how to be comfortable in that time.
That's right.
Because January to December, it's like going to the gym. I can go to the gym tomorrow and hope that I have like super big biceps or something, but that's not gonna happen till like at least mid-year, or at least or at least December. But I have to keep doing it.
That's right.
Every week, every day.
right.
So trusting the process, understanding that it takes time, and learning how to be like, I like this, like this, I'll never be in this spot ever again.
Yeah.
But future me will thank me for being here.
That's right.
So you can apply that for, working hard and processing your emotions, processing your drama, being a better person, growing personally. You can apply that to physical, eating right. If it's your goal to lose weight this year, you're not gonna do that overnight, but through consistency, you will. And again, with saving. I think don't pressure yourself to rack up this amount of money right away, because again, you don't want to skip the money on yourself. But acknowledging like, okay, I'm doing something that future me will thank me for, that my future husband will thank me for, that my future kids will thank me for. It's not only about me.
That's right.
Right. Because also part of it is that I want to have, eventually an overflow enough that I could be generous to other people.
Other people. Yeah.
Right? The quote, you're blessed to be a blessing. So that's also another level that I want, that this money is not only for me. And that loosens my grip on the cash.
That's right.
Which allows it to, be invested. It allows it to move through my hands and move to other people as well. So understanding that we're not working, the theory of scarcity where maubos lahat, like I'll run out, and there's that desperation and there's that anxiety that we work with. That is not healthy for anybody, and your decisions will not be healthy if it comes from desperation. So again, being comfortable in the waiting, understanding that we're working on a theory of abundance.
That's
where there is a lot of opportunity, there are a lot of resources. It's not only this one thing that has to happen right now. Just being able to be comfortable, I think, helps have like a sustainable positive mindset. Yeah.
Janina, backstage, you were telling me, Andoy, I don't know what I'm going to say because well, sabi mo nga sa akin kanina in your own words, parang I'm bad with math. I'm bad when it comes to numbers. No? But over the past few minutes, this is me telling you, I've learned so much from you. No? 3 things from just that burst of insights you shared with us. 3 things. The importance of time. We talk about investing, and then financial literacy. We talk about investing. If you're into investing with money, but you don't have a lot of knowledge and awareness, a lot of times people tend to think that they're being scammed of their money because they're not seeing anything.
Yeah.
They're not seeing progress. They're not getting capital gains. They're not receiving dividends. Because having money when it comes to investing is just a piece of the puzzle. You need to understand your options. You need to be aware about your options. And you need to understand, among the universe of investments, alin dito yung bagay sa akin? Alin dito yung bagay sa goals ko?
Yeah.
So that's the importance of time and financial literacy. You also touched base about health, diba? What I'm trying to drive at, Janina, is again, you're telling me few years from now, you'd like to start transitioning from this to that, here to there, no? When it comes to investing, when it comes to saving, it's still very important that you factor in those types of milestones, no? Kasi dun papasok yung, teka, how much am I earning now versus the first time I did this,
Yeah.
the first time I started budgeting. As an investing animal, am I now ready to take on more aggressive investments, diba? So what we're really trying to say here is to each his own.
Yeah.
You don't just follow people blindly because they're hyping, they're promoting a certain business, they're promoting a certain stock. It's good that you have access to those tools, those resources. But what's really important is you invest in something that you understand. So, kaya sabi nga natin,
Yes, good.
financial literacy is key. So if you're into real estate, that's something that you understand. So be it. But ang importante rin is you don't stagnate.
Yeah.
Okay? So ngayon, since you're very much familiar pagdating sa real estate space, condo, no? What's next? Yung follow-up dun sa question ko eh. Kasi, again, may mga goals tayo. Unti-unting malapit ka na dito sa 2025 goal mo. Ang next mo, 2020, 26, 27, 28. By the time you start ticking those items off your bucket list, what's next?
Well, I mentioned it already. Sobrang simple lang yung gusto ko sa buhay. I just want to get married and have kids. So, and I know that motherhood is such a, it's such a heavy thing.
That's right.
You give your life to it, and I'm preparing for that even now. And so that's why even now I'm already saving up for it.
It's a lifelong profession.
Oh my gosh, it's a lifelong profession that I want to be prepared for.
Yeah.
So I know that it's expensive. I'm thinking about tuition for kids. I know you might be freaked out, like, whoa, Janina, chill. I don't think it's ever too early to think about these things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't want to be blindsided by the time I'm there, like, oh gosh, sana ginawa ko to.
That's right.
I feel like we would regret not saving more than we would regret saving money.
Yeah.
Right? It's like nobody will ever be like, sana ginamit ko to, ang dami kong pera ngayon.
That's
Diba?
right,
Nobody
that's right,
says
that's right,
that.
that's
But
right.
we do say, oh gosh, like what you mentioned, right? Your story. There was nothing I was saving when you were doing your car sales, right? Your car salesman job. Yeah. So, that's really what's next for me. It's really my dream again is simple. It doesn't have to be a big, ginormous dream. There are people who have those dreams. Absolutely great for you. But for me, I want to be financially secure so that my family can be financially secure.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And what's good about talking about the future, talking about financial security. What's good about that is, again, if you are just aware of your options, if you're just aware of what's out there for you, parang mas magiging madali yung decision making eh. But again, here at Wise by Choice, what we do is we educate. We tell them, we don't sell. We tell them, guys, these are your options. But again, ang parati nating sinasabi dito is meron tayong kanya-kanyang investor personality eh. So parang may mga iba na very very conservative. So for our conservative na mga kawais, it's very important na they limit their exposure to the likes of money market funds, deposit accounts. Once they start getting their feet wet, pwedeng unti-unti mag-improve na at ma-promote to the next level from being conservative to the more aggressive, bond funds, mutual funds, unit investment
Yeah.
trust funds, even stocks, real estate investment trusts. But what's important there is, again, you have to, coming from your tip nga kanina, no, you have to limit your choices to the reputable ones.
Yes.
You need to listen, you need to sit down, research, but make sure that you listen to reputable ones, do your research. It's actually good now na pagdating sa social media, may mga verified accounts, may mga blue check marks of sorts, no? But again, ganun din when it comes to investments, para hindi kagaya natin na biktima ng investment scams, no? Parang we're trying to make our kawais learn from our mistakes, no?
I guess full circle, no, as we close, I wanted to bring back to one of our first points, which was don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's right.
Like, again, go to your bank, like, find a broker, ask, okay, and if you don't understand, don't invest. Because that's also a way that, they can overcomplicate things, and
That's
then,
right.
that's where you're going to get lost in the
That's right.
sauce and
That's right.
you're gone. But, invest in what you understand, and if you don't understand, ask questions.
Yeah.
And I think, again, start small, start simple, and then grow from there,
Yeah.
right?
I keep on telling people there's nothing wrong with starting slow.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with starting small. But what's important there is, again, you keep on growing. You keep on learning from past mistakes. You also keep on learning from past wins. Kasi you want to build on that, no? So again, maraming salamat, Janina, for minutes of wisdom I personally got from you. And of course, those are also minutes of wisdom our kawais will definitely get from you. So maraming salamat for the time. Thank you for being here. I've learned so much from this conversation. I've learned so much from your insights. That's what I love about my job. I don't just teach people. I don't just go out there and talk about saving, investing. I actually learn from questions. I actually learn from conversations like this, and that's why I'm pretty confident that we're actually closing the third episode of Wise by Choice on a very high note. So again, Janina, maraming salamat for being here. Maraming
Thank you
salamat
so
for
much.
sharing your insights, for sharing your wisdom, and of course, more importantly, sharing your journey with us. Thanks for the tips. Maraming salamat for, again, being you. No? So there you have it. We hope this third episode of Wise by Choice with Janina Vela will not just help you get 2025 started on the right track, pero sana ma-sustain natin for us to be able to end 2025 strong. Thanks for tuning in to Wise by Choice, where being wise with your financial choices is always the wisest decision. If you liked our episode, follow us on Spotify and on YouTube. To be part of our discussions, join our Facebook community, Wise by Choice. Until next time, start your year by becoming wise.